We're ready. Just start when you want now.
Our brief presentation question is, from a company's perspective, should white-collar crime be treated more leniently than other crimes, other forms of crime? Now, I'm going to describe what white-collar crime is. Edward Sutherland solidified his reputation as a country's leading criminologist once he completed his PhD in sociology. His main focus was in sociology as a scientific enterprise, and he made his goal to understand and control social problems. He coined the term in 1939 and defined white-collar crime as the crime committed by a person of respectability and high social status in the course of his or her occupation. What are forms of white-collar crime? Right, there's fraud, and this could be categorised into different types such as credit fraud, insurance fraud, and mobile phone fraud. This is where, due to new technology, you can hack mobile phones, or you can sign up under a contract under false pretenses. There's embezzlement. This is where someone's trusted with a property or money, but then they take advantage for their own benefit. And then there's the Ponzi scheme, which someone buys into paying dividends into an investment or a property, yet they're not paying for their dividends, they're paying for someone else, and then the person who's actually paying it runs away and leaves the area.
In this area we're going to discuss two contrasting case studies. The first one is Jack Abramoff. He was a US representative lobbyist from 1995 to 2006. He first represented Indian tribes in gambling, in the casino gambling industry, which was a lucrative business. He took advantage of his position and he conspired to take fees from the organisations involved. One of the organisations involved was the Mississippi Choctaw tribe, where he took $60,000 US to run a campaign to get a bill passed through the American Tax Reform Organisation, where he had high contacts in that establishment through the Bush administration. Basically, he could see that the Choctaw had a high revenue income, and he was going to exploit their need for the tax reform bill to get passed. In November 2005, his partner, Michael Scanlon, was arrested for bribing public officials, and he was sentenced later that year. He was sentenced in January 2006, where he was charged for three counts of felony, including bribery and tax evasion and fraud. The four tribes where he represented were the Mississippi Band of Choctaws, the Agu Caliente, California, the Louisiana Cushatars, and the Michigan Saginaw, Mississippi Agnew Caliente. He was sentenced for 5 years and 10 months, which he only served 4 years in prison. The overall amount of funds that he embezzled or basically took was around £85 million, including tens of millions from the Indian gaming organisations.
Another case study we looked at was based on Shalom Vibe, and he was a businessman who bought a small plumbing supply company, and eventually he started looking into being a cone artist. His crime committing period was between early 90s and the late 90s, so it was about 1993 to 1999, and he as well as a few others managed to loot $450 million from the Orlando FI-based company, and this was alongside the owners of the company. Authorities became suspicious about the whole situation of how they noticed a lot of money was basically being not accounted for, and eventually, after everything was said and done, he got sentenced 845 years, which is the longest sentence that has been given for white collar crime, and he did not serve all his years because he was then declared as a fugitive.
From the company's perspective, should white collar crime be treated more leniently than other forms of crime? No. In this part of it, regarding the Abmoff case study and the Shannon Voice case study, we're taking a look at these two quotes. Basically, regarding the aspects of white collar crime, a company should basically set out more stringent policies and procedures, have regular audit checks, and senior management should be more involved in the day-to-day running of the business and oversee what their staff and employees do. Edwin Sutherland said, white collar crimes violate trust and therefore create distrust, which lowers social morale and produces social disorganisation on a large scale. Basically, if a company takes into consideration what Edwin Sutherland has said, and if they manage their customers better and look after their customers and make sure that they take the responsibility for their customers and oversee their staff, then it is a big, important and major factor that they do this. So the customers do not leave the business, they do not see the business as that are failing them. If they take this quote into consideration, then basically the business will not function properly if they do not the business will not function if the customers are not important for factor in their mission statement.
With all this in mind, think about the question: should, from a business perspective, should white collar crime be treated more leniently? We think no, because although no blood is shed with white collar crime, it adversely affects the lives and futures of the victims. This was said by Edwin Sutherland, and we agree with this conclusion, because if white collar crime is treated less leniently, then the only winner is a culprit.
The next few slides are going to be about statistics. As you can see, the graph shows the custody rates of different types of crime within the US. The top line here is robbery, which has the most custodial sentences given out. One of the lowest crimes to have custodial sentences are fraud and forgery, as you can see on the graph. Here are the perpetrators of different crimes and the expenses that they've caused in the US. As you can see, even though the managers only contribute 6% towards the crimes to have the most value.
I'm going to talk about sentencing within white collar crime. So the penalties for white collar crime include fines, home detention, community confinement, paying the cost of prosecution. So that just basically means if you lose the case, you're going to pay the fee of the other lawyers. However, sanctions can be lessened if the defendant takes responsibility for their crime and assists the authorities in their investigation. So if you were to report a crime, the government can lessen your sentence. So it's just like a bargain. You're telling them information and your sentence gets your sentence is lessened for that. So what does this sentencing mean? From a company perspective, should white collar crime be treated more leniently than other forms of crime? From the sentencing perspective, we say no. Because although typically the government charges individuals for white collar crimes, the government has the power to sanction corporations as well for these offences. This basically means that if you commit a white collar crime within an organisation, the organisation can be held responsible for that crime. So the company is paying out more money and they're losing money to fix the crime that you've committed. From a company's perspective, the company gains no money, they gain no money, and they become, they will have less money than they started off with. So although you committed the crime as an individual, the corporation is the one that's suffering.
In conclusion, white collar crime has victims like any other form of crime. Innocent people are harmed from the company's perspective. From a company's perspective, the corporation can be liable for damages caused by employees. Therefore, it should be considered as a separate crime and should not be treated less leniently than other forms of crime. Any questions?
I think it was something Scarlett was saying. No, actually, I think it was Simba. I can't remember the word now. There's a word that I'm not sure what it meant, and it didn't say what it meant. If you go back.